Thank you for tuning in on Uprising Icon on Intellectual Radio Station and iHeart Radio Station. Sponsored by Sin Chicago, my chocolate J Bridal. And today we have Kevin Dave here with us. We're going to talk about the American dream. So we both are Asian, obviously. So you want to give us a little bit background about who you are, like where you come from?
Yeah, no, for sure. First of all, thank you so much for having me on the show. Really appreciate it. And everyone who's tuning to listen to this, I'll definitely make sure it's worthwhile as well. So my story starts actually being born and brought up in India and moving to the States when I was 13 years old. When I moved here, I couldn't read, speak, or write a word of English. So my whole entire life has been uncomfortable. Ever since I kind of moved here, it wasn't just about being by myself, learning things. It was the culture shock, everything that you possibly could imagine. Overall, I realized that I have to learn everything on my own and being able to create my dream that I'm pursuing today. Moving here, I started learning English and went to high school here. And one of the things that I realized that I fell in love with the game of basketball.
Yes.
I've never played basketball in my life, but I knew that was something that I wanted to learn. So within
around the area?
Yeah, around the area, because growing up, I did watch a lot of cricket, and I knew that sports somehow can help you, not just from a personal development point of view, from a professional development point of view as well. So I started learning to play basketball, and I remember that I used to start playing basketball by myself at 8 in the morning and probably finish at 9 o'clock. And it just to continuously practice, and I was able to successfully make my freshman year a basketball team.
Wow, that's amazing.
So that taught me that if you work hard and if you're persistent, you can accomplish anything at that point. So throughout my high school career, I try to kind of fit in, try to become part of everybody else. And over the years, I've come to understanding and realization that it wasn't something that I had to do. My whole life, I was trying to be able to fit in. And once I kind of let go of that, my path and my journey completely changed. Finished my high school at Elk Grove, then ended up going to DePaul University. And one of my friends, she told me always that there's one thing that no one can take away from you is a piece of paper that has your degree and name on it and the knowledge that you have. Once I realized that, I knew that I had to finish college real fast and real quick. And I finished DePaul in about, I would say, 2.5 years.
Wow. How?
Literally 6 to 7 classes, literally from morning till night. And I knew that this was one of the opportunities that I was given. And I was never A plus student at all. And somehow I realized that how education was important because of my friend. And I made the dean's list, honors. So again, another example of knowing that when you have to do something and when you work hard and be persistent, you're able to accomplish that or again as well.
Right. I believe everybody listening right now think like it's easy to say than done. So they want to know the secret. How did you, like, first of all, like, how do you learn English all by yourself? Of course, school help.
Yeah.
But I can relate to it is I have English classes in China, in Hong Kong. So I have some basic knowledge about English before I moved here. And then I'm able to pick up. It's just more practice speaking and everything. But if you have nothing, like no background, no basic knowledge, and like how?
I knew that if I wanted to grow, and if I wanted to continue to progress that I had, I couldn't move the hurdle of people that I've always been surrounding myself with. So I couldn't be with every Indian person because then I would just become them and I would just be adapt to the old things the way they were. So I always pushed myself to be outside the hurdle. I would say I watched a lot of Simpsons. That really helped me with my English. And then just continually practicing, even just talking to friends. I try to, speak without the accent, but sometimes the words would come into the way. So
they're going to teach you the slangs and everything that you cannot read from the book, right?
Yeah. So it was just continuously practice, just like anything in life, right? If you want to learn something new and if you want to do it, it requires a lot of hard work and persistence. And I think that's where I think a lot of people, I don't want to say terms lack, but that's where a lot of people, when they fail the first time, they give up and they don't continue to pursue their dream. So here, I know, like, definitely, I was made fun of in high school, junior high as well. But I didn't let that bother me at all. I kept going and I kept going. And over the years, I've been able to work on my delivery. I've been able to work on my language, the voice, and all of that stuff as well.
Yeah, and also I hear it really put yourself out there, like step out of your comfort zone. Like you complete like vulnerable, like, okay, here I am. I'm living here. I'm going to create a life in here.
Yeah. And that's part of my American dream, right? Which was like the whole entire time I was trying to fit in with everybody else. But then I realized I don't need to fit in with everybody else. I just got to be myself.
That's another breakthrough, right?
Yeah. Just be myself. And once you actually learn the art of that, it does wonders for you. It really does wonders for you.
Then let's talk about how did you finish, like, hold on 1 second. My apologies. I just have turned my phone off. So one thing is we're looking at how did you finish college in 2 years? Because there's lots of classes, time management, and then, keeping up with the classes project. Like what's the secret around there?
My drive and determination. That was it, literally. For example, I got A+ in Judaism. I didn't know anything about that, but I've learned. And
why you pick that subject?
It was one of those requirement classes that you have to take, right? So I couldn't obviously.
Judaism?
Yeah. So, but I've learned a lot.
You went to?
I've learned a lot, and a lot of my friends are Jewish, so it worked out pretty well, I would say. But yeah, no, it literally just took a lot of determination and drive to be able to complete DePaul in 2.5 years. And I had some great professors who, worked with me, a lot of friends who supported me throughout the years while I was at DePaul, and really made sure that I was able to get through it with the time frame that I wanted to. So I finished DePaul, and I started working at a company called Preferred Hotel Group. And this was like my first real corporate job, and I was known as the e-commerce specialist, which I didn't know anything about.
Did you have a moment like dreams come true? Because lots of Asian, the parents, they push you like go for college and get a good degree, and then go work for a big company.
Yeah,
big American company, especially.
Yeah, no, it was a dream come true for sure. But my parents never thought I was going to finish college, so finishing college was like probably the biggest thing they could be happy for. So they were happy for that. And after that, I went to go work for this company called Preferred Hotel Group. I started, and the first day, the person who was supposed to train me got fired. So I was given nothing. So I had to learn everything again on my own, what I was supposed to do.
So they did not replace him with someone else to train you?
No. So it was just like,
wow.
Just pick up the things and just figure it out. So I kind of started.
So you got promoted naturally.
Yeah, I guess so. You can say that. Yeah. Did that, and during that time, I had reconnected with one of my cousins, and my cousin reached out to me saying, "Hey, man, you went to school for marketing, and when I was in school, I was doing free marketing for local small businesses." I took in this class at DePaul, which was called ICS 394, which was all about entrepreneurship with Professor Murphy. And the purpose and objective of the class was that you get to work on a business. And the business that I had an opportunity to work on was called Chicago School of Thai Massage. I still remember the CEO was Paul Flower, and I'm still in touch with the guy. And in that class, I realized that there are a lot of small to mid-sized businesses that are seeking help when it comes to growth and growing their businesses. So I always had like a marketing agency on the side, which was called Kaivano. I'm talking about back in 2009, and it's still live. And my cousin reached out to me and he said, "Hey, I'm starting this film festival with a few friends called Chicago South Asian Film Festival. Would you be interested in participating in that and helping us like brand and whatnot?" I was like, yes. I was like,
that's really fun, right?
I was like, done. I loved Bollywood. And it was South Asian focused. And I was like, another great way for me to network and the best way I would recommend anybody to learn is on some other people's dime. So this was somebody paying for all the things that I wanted to test and learn, and being able to develop that film festival and getting so attached to it that I got fired from my actual job because I was so much focused on the film festival. But that learning
But
was.
did that festival actually able to cover your financial expenses or anything?
I was living at home at that point, so I didn't
Okay,
have
so
that many.
it wasn't hurting that bad.
It wasn't
Okay.
hurting that bad at that point. So I started doing that. I started helping him out, and became part of the film festival committee as a founder, one of the founding fathers of the committee itself. And as of today, the film festival is 7 years old and pulls in about 4,000 to 5,000 people from around the world.
That's amazing.
And so I got fired. And then obviously this film festival is non for profit, so they don't pay anybody. So at that point, I was like, I need to figure something out and do something on my own.
And how old were you back then?
This probably has to be
25?
no, even probably 23.
Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
finished college. Wow.
23 or 24. So I always knew that I wanted to work for myself. But obviously, along the path of my journey today, I've worked for a lot of companies and have a lot of experience from that. But this was my first entrepreneurial experience, which was I was like, man, I'm from India. And one thing that I've seen my dad, my parents, everybody do while growing up was use incense. And during that point in 2011 or 2012, yoga was a huge upcoming market.
Yes.
Everybody was going to yoga. Everybody was learning about it. Long story short, I reached out to a few friends that I knew that were working. They were running their own companies, and I went up to one of the guys. His name is Mark Holland, and I went up to him and I said, "Man, can you just tell me what did you do, like the mistakes that you made, so therefore I don't make mistakes starting this business." At the end of the conversation, long story short, he wrote me a check for investing into the company that I wanted to start.
Wow.
And that at that point, I realized one thing that he said to me, which still is with me here today, is that people don't invest into business or ideas; people invest into people.
That's so true. I completely agree.
Yeah. So talked to him. He ended up investing money, and then talked to two of my other buddies. Again, I wasn't looking for anybody to invest, but somehow with my own investment and everybody else's, I gathered close to $30,000, and took off to India to start this company. It took me approximately 4 or 5 months to really build out the products and develop the brand and whatnot. Came back and started selling the product. And probably the most expensive incense anybody could probably buy in the market. I was selling 24 sticks for $25.
So, do you have an online store or like a physical store?
No, that was just an online store. So this is where I got my first taste of direct to consumer, where you are selling directly to end consumer. And this is when what everybody calls is called influencer marketing. This is what I was doing back in 2011, 2012, influencer marketing. And I had some of the top yoga ambassador behind my product and the brand itself. Unfortunately, that business didn't succeed past the first year mark because I got burned out. So I knew what I was signing up for, but you actually don't know until you actually start doing it. So I was literally doing customer service, marketing, accounting, finance, inventory, product development, shipping, handling, returns, 360, everything.
Yes, I totally get it. I own a business. So it's lots of management around. Like when lots of people, when they invent an idea, they just think like, I need this and this, and I can do everything.
Yeah.
But for the process, you literally realize, oh crap, I can't handle it. I need people.
Mhm.
Like I don't even have enough time to sleep, to see people, to relax or anything.
Yeah.
To even take care of the well-being, that part. So it makes sense, and that's not many startup business, like young business can survive. So, and you were really young back then.
Yeah, so I didn't know, like I didn't know what was the vision.
And you did not have experience as well.
Yeah, no, I didn't have an experience at all. So that's where I've learned. I think one of the most important thing that I took away from that was that you need to have the right team. and you need to have a vision for what you're achieving. Otherwise, you're just going to keep going and going in circles and never know what you're trying to achieve. So that was one of my biggest learning point. So obviously, I had to make a living, and I couldn't stay to my life. So I went and got a job at a company called Spring Green. And at this time, I lived in Mount Prospect, and Spring Green was in Plainfield, Illinois.
And that is also a marketing company, correct?
Spring Green is a lawn care company, but I worked in the marketing division. Yes, it's a franchise, and I used to drive about hour and a half each way to make this work. And one of the guys who invested money into my company called me after 4 or 5 months and said, "Hey, I have an opportunity for you. Why don't you come and work for me?" And I was like, "Oh my God, perfect, done." And the reason why he told me to take on this opportunity was that he saw that if I was able to grow the business in 1 year with no marketing and just by myself, the incense business, he said, if I gave you a marketing budget and the knowledge that you have, you'll be able to grow this business to the limits.
So people constantly interest on your personality and invest in you.
Yeah.
Not much is like your product or anything.
No,
and that's why I love to have you to be a guest today, because I met you a few years ago. It's just really inspiring to see what you do. It's like seeing your drive, especially multiple times you mentioned is you are not afraid of taking risks.
No.
You keep pushing through, like, hey, your limit, you keep growing up higher and higher. It's really amazing.
I've learned this from one person, which is like, this train does not stop for anybody. This train of mine doesn't stop for anybody until I reach the destination, and I know my why. That's the biggest thing, and we'll talk about that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he calls me up and he's like, "Hey, I want you to come work for me." And it was probably one of the best opportunities in my life that I will never forget. I went in as a solo individual marketer, and I was given the freedom and the power to report directly to him, and then being able to grow the company. So I built a whole entire in-house agency, and within 4 years, with everybody that was involved, we were able to quadruple company's revenue, where literally company went from having only doing about 50 grand a month or so to over $250,000-$300,000 a month. And
that's impressive.
Quadrupled their revenue. So it was a validation for me at that point that I knew what I was kind of doing. But when you have a support system, when you have a team, and when you have a goals and numbers to hit, that's when I kind of said, okay, this is how it works. And along that process, I've also made a lot of mistakes. I've learned from those mistakes. I think learning is always very, very important. And
you can only learn from mistake. If you keep always right, you can learn, right? How much you can learn. You just know, like, I got it all.
Yep. So I don't mind making mistakes, because that's where the most amount of growth ever happens, I personally feel like. So yeah, I went to go work for them, and then I went to go work for another company, because I was reporting directly to the CEO, and I knew that the company was being sold. And then I went to go work for a local company called RX Bar, which is, they say 3 egg whites, 2 cashew, the protein bar factory. I only worked there for 8 months. The reason behind that, so I was hired as a director of e-commerce, and was responsible for getting the website live and transitioning from Shopify to Magento 2. Long story short, I was at that point in a life where I was trying to figure out my personal life. I had just gone through a really bad breakup, and I wasn't sure what had just happened to me. And probably...
What do you mean by what happened to you?
I don't know what had happened to me at that point. Like
was it like you were lost?
I was lost. Yeah, I was just lost. I was like a zombie in a human. Like, I was just living like a zombie.
And you were really heartbroken.
Yeah.
Is that because of that, or?
Yeah. I would say, yeah. I was heartbroken.
Lack of fulfillment at that point?
No, I was heartbroken. And at that point, I realized a lot of things about life. It brought back a lot of memories in my life, and made me...
How old were you?
This is probably about almost a year and a half ago. So this is when I was 31, almost. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So
So people call me life crisis. You can reflect
yeah, but
your life.
yeah. But it's probably the best thing ever happened to me in my life. Like
Mm.
so many great memories, so many things that I learned from, and so much life that I experienced. So I wouldn't say anything bad about it. I respect her. I have a lot of love for her, but it's just something that I was taken away by. I didn't know what had happened, so it took me a long time to figure things out. But out of that, the best thing ever happened to me was I had a show that comes out called Staying Uncomfortable, because it made me really practice self development, discipline, and how do you come over fear. So that's where the show actually came out of, because I one day I woke up and I was like, hmm, staying uncomfortable might sounds good, but then
It's so interesting to hear you say that.
yeah,
Even when you were kid growing up, you already like not afraid of fear. Like I probably like I don't know you really really well,
yeah,
but just hearing your story, it doesn't sound like you are the type of person who's going to be stopped by fear.
hmm,
And now you mentioned like you just realized it when you're 31. Like,
yeah, and that's when I realized, holy cow. And when you think about the chances, so everybody talks about staying uncomfortable in order for you to progress in life and grow. There's close to 350 million people in the US and close to 6+ billion in the worldwide. And this was my calling because stayinguncomfortable.com was available. Nobody had ever taken that website. So at that point, this
so
was
that's your new business or the TV show name?
that's the show name, Staying Uncomfortable, which comes out July
Okay.
5th, 2018. And the premises of the show is to not focus on business, not focus on it's all about focusing on how do you empower others to really push to limits to achieve greatness and experience more life. And the thought behind this is that if you've never done something, and when you go try to do something for the first time ever, you are going to be so uncomfortable. And in order for you to learn whatever the new thing that you're trying to do, you're going to have to do research. You're going to have to talk to people. You're going to have to experience this. And when you do something like this, you're creating more experience in life and you're getting more growth. So my whole entire thing is like, if you stay uncomfortable, you're going to experience more life.
That sounds really interesting. I can't wait to see the show. So we're going to release it later when the premiere come out, right? Then we
Yeah.
know how can we see the show. Okay, cool. Like it's really interesting because I want to know like what's the content about, what's the approach? Is that related to coaching or what kind of support you provide?
So
Because there's so many people that out there like doing something like that, and I know that certain people they really able to connect. Like even I don't know you well, but I able to connect
yeah.
to you somehow. I don't know why. That's why I'm like I need to have him on my show.
Thank you. The show is literally about bringing on people that have not somewhat made a name, but people who are constantly trying to achieve greatness and constantly trying to pursue for excellence, knowing that there might be fear, there might be losses, there might be lessons, but they're not afraid of being vulnerable and sharing those. So I've had pleasure of having close to 16 to 17 different guests from all over the part of the world, from Poland to California to yeah, like one of the person that we had on was he trains Kevin Hart, Boss Everline. The other person that we had was Mark Bell, who's a bigger, stronger, faster documentary on Netflix. My Professor Murphy, who's a kind of very well known in the entrepreneurial world as a philosopher. Has worked on Mark Cuban's project called Naked Pizza. Sean Riley, who started Dude Wipes, was on Shark Tank. So these are the people that people think that have achieved success overnight, but they don't know the backstory on how hard it is and how hard it was for them to get to where they are. So people see with today's, social media, you get to see
The good part.
only the good part. Nobody knows that, a lot of these people have struggled through, and they've been doing this consistently and persistently for the last 10 to 15 years. So, that's what I'm sharing. And what I'm sharing even more is not anything on the business end. It's more about the personal journeys, which is during those dark times when you didn't think you were going to make it, or during the rough times, like, what did you do, like, to keep you going? Because I think everybody needs to know, like, what is it that keeps people going? And I think one of the answers that I'm coming to understand is knowing your why, and it's got to be bigger than yourself. So, for me, why do I keep going? I have staying uncomfortable. I have my own personal care and grooming care company called Glider, which is all about instilling love and confidence into people by creating beautiful design products, which is, in men's care and female care as well.
Oh, you guys have female care? I don't know about that part.
Yeah, we're just launching, the first year was all about just one product, and now we've transitioned into a brand which is all about creating products that are going to help people feel love and confidence by being who they are. They don't need to change for anybody. It's just be yourself and believe in yourself. That's the purpose and the mission behind that company as well.
So that's kind of a part of your American dream. Like, that's what inspires you.
Yeah. So they both kind of go hand to hand if you think about it. And that's what I've learned throughout my career, is that whatever the business you're into, whatever you're doing, it has to come from your heart. So Steve Jobs, right, is probably one of the top person in this world when it comes to vision and following through it, because he's the one who created the idea. He's the one who created Apple, and it was
who could think about that back then?
So if you think about it, like, every single decisions that he made, it was from Steve Jobs' heart. Like, that's why nobody can fulfill those shoes when you think about running your own business. So when you're running your own business, the advice that I have is that you got to know your why, and it got to come from within you. As a CEO or as somebody who started it, you got to know what your end goal is and what your end vision is.
I agree 100%. And what I see is there's people, they would out to me and talk about, like, ask me to share my experience in business, which is really interesting. Like, people nowadays, our generation, everybody want to be an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
And the part is they don't see the dark side of it. They only have the great idea, have the vision, like, see the bright side. It's good, and they prepare the bad plan and everything. Is great. But not many people, they really have the intention. Why you do what you do?
Yeah.
What's the intention right there? What you're trying to deliver? If, like, this show, basically, what I created is I want to feature every person's personality.
Mm-hmm.
Why you? Like, there's so many same product out there, right? So many beauty product. I own a bridal shop. Same thing related to fashion and beauty.
Yeah.
Why me? Is there something behind the meaning? Like, because I care about relationship. I love celebrating love.
Mm-hmm.
So, and fulfilling, like, make other girl ready to get married, the man of their love. I think, like, it's something beautiful. Like, I can fulfill, I can deliver, and they can experience it when they are working with me. So that's the intention right there, instead of my intentions make more money.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm so excited for your show, is probably going to cover something like, what's the definition of success?
Yeah.
Because lots of people think like, oh, I look up to these people, I admire these people. That's success for me. I want to make this much money. I want to be able to have this house and this car.
I think money is a secondary thing.
It comes when you fulfill what you mean to fulfill in life.
Yeah. And that's what I've learned as well. Like, before, I'll be frankly honest, like, I was like, all right, I need to make money, chasing the money. But then I realized it's not the money. It's
tiring, right? It's just chasing after the money. It's more work than chasing after a girl.
Yeah. But yeah, no, once you figure out, like, I think the biggest thing I'll say is that once you figure out your why, then things just kind of starts falling into places, and being able to really go at it is going to drive you. So my day, people are shocked. My day starts at usually at 4:30 in the morning, and doesn't end till 11:30 or 12 o'clock at night. by the time lunch comes around, I'm 8 hours in already my day. And again, I just do it because it's part of who I am now. It's not like I'm doing it to show it to somebody. It's just my work ethics, and I know that hard work pays off, but you got to be persistent and consistent. You can't just show up one day and be like, all right, I'm gonna try to win this American dream. Like I've been doing this since 2011, and I feel like I'm just getting started.
You think so?
Yeah.
Wow. After listening to this, what you have accomplished, mistake you made, things you learn, lesson you learn, and get to where you are right now. And from what I'm seeing, like from where I stand, look at you, it's like this man is incredible. Is really driven, really successful.
Well, thank you.
And you think you just started.
Yeah, I told you, as I said, my life has been ever since I came here, it's been uncomfortable, and this is just my.
How do you feel right now in this environment? Like, what is the ultimate American dream for you, I should ask?
So my why is my parents have given up so much to be here. Like my parents are pretty wealthy in India, and my dad was a politician, and coming here and watching my mom work at jungle gyms, cleaning toilets, seeing my dad go to a factory that he never worked in his life, and he used to have like 50 to 100 people work for him in India, and giving up all of that to come here to make our future better and our life better. So being able to know that this is all I'm doing is for them. And then I have a niece and nephew that I love. My niece is probably my number one fan.
She's super cute.
And I want her to know that, life is going to play its role. Life is not all pretty, it's ugly. But when you are so focused and determined on your dream, anything is possible. And I want to set those perfect examples for my niece and nephews to know that if your uncle could do it, not being born in the States, not knowing how to read, speak, or write word of English, you have a hell better chances to achieve your dream and complete them.
Wow, that's really beautiful. So you're building your legacy for your family's future generation.
So that's
not even to your kid yet, but even to your niece and nephew. So
that's my why. So the days that I don't want to get up, the days that I'm like I want to sleep in, I think about this, and those are the things that keeps me pushing, and those are the things that keeps me moving. And the people that are behind me, everyone from Sean to Zach, Josh, everybody who's been supporting me since day one to my dream, are the people also I have to hold myself accountable, because they're the one who are also continuously spending their time and energy into fulfilling all the stuff that we're doing. So I can't just give up now. It's just continue, keep going and keep going and keep going.
Oh, that's amazing. And I can you almost made me cry, because I can totally relate to it. My parents gave up their life to move here as well. And hearing another person actually speed up like, hey, this is my life, and being vulnerable to share to the world.
Yeah.
Like, hey, yeah, even they have that life, they move here for me, and they do like the dirty work no one willing to do to support me to fulfill what they want to build for my future.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. It's just so incredible.
Yeah, so I think anybody can do what I'm doing. It's just you got to know your why, and you just got to be persistent and consistent to be able to come at it every single day. And one thing that I'm learning always is you're not going to show up 100% every single day. You're going to have those off days, and it's okay for you to have those off days, because those off days are the days that will get you to bounce back stronger for the days that you really need.
So I know that your parents are your biggest motivation, and your family.
Yeah.
But do you have other mentors in your life that, like...
Oh, yeah, for sure. So I always try to surround myself around 5 people. And the way I look at it is that It's called the rule of five. So you never want to be at the top. You always want to be in the middle. So therefore, you can learn
Okay, you keep it in the middle. Okay, I'm moving too fast. Let me slow down.
You always want to be like the third, right? So out of five people, you always want to be third because you're constantly learning from the top two, and then you're being able to teach to other people as well. So, I have weekly calls with some of the mentors that I work with just to even bounce ideas off or get their thoughts and feedback on it. And then, I also teach at General Assembly digital marketing as well. So
in college or?
General Assembly is a program here. I think it's nationwide. It's for digital marketing, and they have a bunch of different classes.
Oh yes,
So
I know
teach.
about them.
Yeah, so I teach digital marketing. So now it's like I'm constantly learning new things, but I'm also teaching people that I've never even heard of digital marketing or direct to consumer side of it. So it's.
So is that because I recall them and I went to one of the event. I actually have a friend. He got invited to be a speaker right there. So are those workshops free or
Yeah, those
how can we get access to it?
Usually General Assembly does few workshop a month for free. But then, there are classes for career changes. There are classes for advanced knowledge. But I teach the, the first standard classes for digital marketing itself.
That's amazing. Wow, you got a lot on your plate.
Yeah.
So let's say, give us a little bit more information about your company. So you were earlier, you told me that you want to show us your new product and.
Yeah. So, with Glider, we currently have 3 to 4 different products available in the market. The first one is the styptic balm. So basically what that is that when you shave and you cut yourself, it makes you stop bleeding instantly. So we've taken a product that a lot of people might not know, which is called styptic pencil, which is used back in the day by your grandfathers. And we've spent almost 2.5 years to 3 years redesigning it, redeveloping it, and creating it a balm. So now, unfortunately, the product's out of stock. We can't keep the product at all. So that's number one. We launched with styptic balm. And after that, we set to create the beard oil. So we have 3 different editions of our Miracle Beard Oil, which helps you kind of maintain your beard care, beard growth, dandruff-free. And again, this is all aligned with love and confidence. So our products are called Miracle Beard Oil Change Edition, Miracle Beard Oil Power Edition, and then we have the original one as well. And then we're launching a female product in about a month or two for styptic balm for her. Basically, what that is that when you shave your legs, ladies, when you cut yourself, instead of using towels, you can actually apply this balm, and it actually makes you stop bleeding instantly as well. And by the end of the year, we are going to closely have 11 different products under Glider's brand. So we're just getting started, and it's going to be. Our mission is to empower people through our product, and that's what we're creating is products around love and confidence.
Where can people find your products?
You can go to glider.io. That's GLYDER.io. So we're currently only doing direct to consumer, so which basically shipping products from our own website, and then obviously you can find us on Amazon as well.
Oh, that's cool. So how can we find information to get to your workshop with General Assembly?
I'll send that. I'll share that information. But usually I am one of the speakers for General Assembly when they do anything with digital or e-commerce. So I'll definitely pass along some of the information that they might have for their upcoming events. So yeah.
Cool. Then I will share on our social media, so everybody who interested and want to meet this amazing man can come check him out at General Assembly. And you mentioned the show will be released on July, right?
July 5th. So it'll be the 1 year since I started working for myself again. So it's been a year, and there's a lot of things that we've done in a year, and I just want to be able to share people that after July 4th is like July 5th is when I kind of launched Glider as well. pursuing the American dream. So I want to align it with the whole entire theme itself. But yeah, I want to share people that in a year, this is what I've been able to do. So if you aren't happy,
Do you have a website beautiful or
staying uncomfortable? Yeah, you can go to stayuncomfortable.com. Obviously, it's just a simple site right now, but by July 5th, it'll be much more than just a simple site. It'll be probably one of the most valuable sites that people go to get knowledge about how to push beyond limits in life.
Cool. Do you have any personal blog that you want to share with us so people can really keep up with your news and information? Because I'm sure everybody wants to learn more from you. It's really impressive. Your life story, your experience, and everything.
I use Instagram a lot. So I would say follow me on Instagram, which is my first and last name, Kaivan Dave, KAIVANDAVE. And yeah, I share a lot about what I learn. I share health and fitness tips and tricks, some of the e-commerce stuff, digital marketing, and I'll definitely make sure that you're motivated.
That's cool. So when you mentioned about health and fitness, I want to ask you a question about that.
Yeah.
So are you a health and fitness coach as well?
No.
Because I saw some pictures.
No, I'm not. I've just made it into my lifestyle as a very important part of it. The first thing I do every day is work out. So
does it relate to some of like your business decliner, like taking care of?
I just find it.
And everything?
Yeah, it's just part of our brand. Everybody it's everybody who's on the team. It's part of us. Everybody works out. Everybody wakes up at 5 o'clock. Everybody it's a team thing. Yeah.
So if someone wants to join your company, they have to wake up at 5 o'clock.
Yeah,
work out.
That's the only thing. Yeah.
That's the motto.
That's the motto. You gotta join the 5 a.m. workout group. That's all.
Awesome. So, well, thank you so much. It's such an honor to have you today. We learned a lot, and want to keep up with you. And everybody want to know more about Kaivan Dave. Check out our website, social media. We're going to share more of his upcoming event, program, company news, the show. So, thank you. We'll see you next Monday.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you. Oh,